Hi everybody, reporting live from my brand new apartment, which is empty. And if you want to know why, you gotta go watch this video. I was so crazy that I covered my body in 91% rubbing alcohol because that's what keeps them away. And I sprinkled this powder around me like I was a sacrificial lamb. And I laid there and I was like, I fucking dare you. Like, come and eat me and die. When I moved, something pretty cool happened. I got this in the mail. Dun, 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 pa, 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 pa. This is the 100,000 silver play button that you get when you reach 100,000 subscribers on YouTube, which I hit that milestone in May of 2016, which is a couple months ago. It was really exciting time for me, and so I wanted to share with you guys my journey of how I got to 100,000 really in the matter of 6 months, to be honest. When I started to really focus on this formula, that's when I saw my channel grow exponentially, and I want you guys to have this information so hopefully you can use it on your own YouTube journey. So the first thing is consistency, and then it is collaborations, and finally it is community, but really it should be community first. But I want to talk about consistency off the bat because this is truly the hardest one. When I first started my channel and I started focusing on it in around September or so, and I was uploading videos sometimes twice a week, those videos were getting 1,500 views, 2,000 views, and mind you, my channel had been up for a while, so this isn't like my first video ever. Here's the thing. I think a lot of people say they are afraid of success. I actually really hate that phrase, like, oh, I don't want to try because I'm just afraid of succeeding. I think what you're really afraid of is trying your hardest and then realizing you're not good enough. People don't try their best because if they don't try their best, they always had that excuse that, well, I never really tried anyways. And so that was really an example for me of when I actually put all my eggs in the YouTube basket in the fall. That's when I was like, oh, it's not because I don't upload that often that I don't have views. People just don't really find me that appealing right now. And that was a hard time, but I had to remain consistent through that. No matter what your view count is at any given time, you have to keep creating and uploading content. People start to really pay attention and show up for you when you show up for yourself. So keep making videos. Here's a tip that I did in the beginning, and I'm gonna admit to it. I bought views just to make myself more comfortable in sharing my videos, my family and my friends particularly, especially my more popular YouTube friends, or to draw collaborations in. I bought YouTube views off the top in the beginning just to beef things up a bit because 1,000 looks ridiculous, but 12,000 is, that might be okay. And it's only about 40 bucks for that extra 10,000 views. Now, mind you, this is not a sustainable formula because if you don't have the money like that to keep buying views, it can really start to cost a lot. But if you just need the little bit of boost in the beginning, I suggest that as a way just to keep yourself going. The second thing I want to talk about, which is really my story, is collaborations. Collaborations are so important because you're drawing a popular person or thing or topic into a not so popular thing, person, or topic. And when you combine those two together, there's a small trickle effect. Here's the secret to collaborations with bigger channels. Don't ask for cross collaboration. I think period in general, never ask for cross collaboration. Approach somebody, say, I have an idea for you for my channel. Here's what I want to do, and put no pressure or work on them. Make it the simplest thing in the world. You'll show up to where they live with your camera, with your sound. You'll be in and out in 40 minutes and it will never even affect them. If they don't want to post it, they don't have to. If they feel compelled, great. Even then, that kind of goes without saying. So that was my secret tip. I asked people who were much larger than me, hey, can I work with you or interview you? It kind of worked double-fold because one, for my small audience, they appreciated seeing a familiar face, which was great. And two, a lot of the times I had confidence in the content that I would create. I knew I would make something unique or special that they had never done before, and they might feel inclined to share it with their audience. And that worked for me 100% of the time. Sometimes big people even reposted the video to their channel, which was a massive help. So collaborations for me were everything. With collaborations as well too, if you are a small fish trying to catch a big fish, you need to have your rod in the water. Don't come in here. You need to have your rod in the water for a long time. You don't catch the bass fish just by like scooping your hand in. Then you get tadpoles that way. So you have to learn to be persistent but not annoying. For me, I had to realize that a lot of people I had to see several times. Like I would ask them to collab and they'd be like, yeah, for sure. But then I'd would never hear from them. I'd have to see them at another event and then another event. But just being patient that this is a numbers game. That is the name of the game of YouTube. Like it or love it, or leave it if you don't like it or love it. But if you don't have what somebody else has, they're not as compelled. So you have to give patience for that process. I also think in collaborations, there's some dignity to be had in there as well too. I had a recent experience with a girl from a different country who had a very similar, her channel's also about sex. And she hit me up like, hey, I'm coming to VidCon, let's collab. That was like how she approached me. And I was like, you want me to collab with you? Yeah. Like, I'm used to usually approaching those people and asking them. So her to ask me, I was like, of course I'll collab with you. And I love your channel. I think you're great. And we have very similar content. And then so leading up to this is probably months ago, she was like emailing every so often. She actually pitched me an idea of what we should work on together. I'm like, great, that sounds cool. Then leading up to the actual VidCon, she was asking me a lot of questions like, do you have an extra pass? Where are you staying? What parties are you going to? What panels are you speaking on? And I was like, just getting information really earnestly, like, here you go, here you go, here you go. And then when she actually got to VidCon, I met her and I was like, hey girl, I'm so excited to meet you, like blah, 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 blah. And she was like, mm-hmm. And you're like, that happens a lot in YouTube. People have really big personalities. Here, you meet them in person and they're like, here. So I was like, okay, you're just reserved, that's fine. And so we're sitting and talking and she was like, I'm here, but it doesn't really make a lot of sense for me to be here because my channel's growing so fast on its own. I'm already exponentially growing faster than other people. And so I don't really need to collab with other people. So I don't really know I'm at VidCon. And even as a joke, because I couldn't even fathom that this was happening. I was like, oh yeah, girl, but we're still collabing, right? And she was like, I mean, maybe if it makes sense for my channel, I have to think about it. I have a busy week here. Didn't you message me? And so after that, I was just like, I just felt really weirded out. She kept asking me for stuff about parties and everything else. I think she caught that my energy around her was different. And so she emailed me like, well, hey, we can collab on your channel. I don't really have an idea for mine, maybe in the future, but we can start off by working on yours. And a part of me was like, should I do it just to do it? Because she's got big numbers and I love her work and I respect her content. And then I was like, nah. There's a certain bar. We all get it that it's a numbers-driven game, but you have to also learn to love being on YouTube, and you won't love it if you work with people who make you feel like that. And so I decided to let that go. I'm actually gonna email that person and tell them exactly how I felt, because I think it's important that people know how they come across. Sometimes they didn't even intend that to happen. I could have the story completely misconstrued. But that's an example of a collaboration that I had to let go. Sometimes you're gonna be reaching out to people with all the right formulas. You're gonna be approaching them to work on your channel, making it as simple as possible for them, buying them a meal, saying, hey, I'll take you to lunch afterwards, whatever it takes. When you do that and the person still makes you feel like less, you can make the choice to take the higher road. And even if your climb is a little bit slower, I believe me, your stamina will be a lot greater because you can get burnt out by all the bullshit all up in this URL world. Okay, so we talked about consistency, we talked about collaborations, and now I want to talk about community. My mom gave me this amazing quote. My mom said that if you throw a seminar for 3,000 people and you book out a grand hall to do it, and then the day comes to the seminar and 5 people show up in the front row, are you gonna spend the entire seminar staring at the back door, waiting for the other 2,995 people to show up? Or are you gonna give all your attention to those 5 people so that they tell 5 more people who show up next time and they have a good experience and they have value for their buck? The natural tendency is to stare at the door the whole time, to be like, but who else is there anyone behind you? But the reality is you have to give your all for who shows up for you. And community has been, for me, what has made my YouTube experience all that more worthwhile. I've said this time and time again on comments. Even though I have a very small community, I think I've gathered a collection of smart, intelligent, forward-thinking, thought-provoking, beautiful people who I genuinely consider to be friends. Whenever I meet my fans, my supporters, I hate the word fans, it's so stupid. Whenever I meet my co-workers, in life, I always feel like we are people who would be friends for real. Like, we create and we collect like minds. So birds of a feather flock together. So treat your YouTube subscribers as a community. Comment back. share their stuff, retweet when they say nice things to you, do whatever you can possible in all your different social media forums to communicate and to connect with them, to create a sense of community. I love my subscribers. I have people who aren't super fans who usually challenge me. I love them. I have people who make me laugh consistently. I have people who overshare and they inspire me to give more of myself every single time. I have people who just show up for me time and time again, and I see you every single time. So do yourself a favor, no matter how big or small your community is, treat them like family, treat them like gold, treat them like the 5 VIP guests, not the 5 people who happen to be there while you wait for everybody else. Community will see you through to the finish line. I guess the long story short, in order to get to this very small monumental place, which I got an amazing letter from the CEO of YouTube where it said, you know, 1 million might seem like a far way away, but you're closer than you think, and we're all rooting for you, which I think that line is beautiful. But I do feel that. I feel using the tools that got you here in the first place, that's what's important. Whatever has gotten you to where you are on YouTube, don't neglect those tools. If that has been sharing on Facebook, you know, making sure that your friends and family are updated on what you're doing, whatever it is that you've been doing thus far, don't let go of that. But don't be afraid to try and adopt new things, and don't be afraid to reach out to brand new people. Hopefully I reach 1 million in 4 years. That's been my goal, as I talked about in other videos. But I'm in it for the long run, and as I said before, you know, I enjoy being on YouTube, so I want to keep coming back here regardless of the results. But it's definitely nice when the results come in a physical form. Good luck to you guys. Let me know in the comment section below if you have any questions or tips others can learn from, and let's all get to 1 million somehow, some way, someday. Shit. And that right there is the whole kit and caboodle. There's gonna be more content coming from me every Sunday. You can expect a new video, and then on Wednesday you're gonna get another video. In addition, you're gonna get a Facebook live stream. I couldn't do the accent much longer, I'm sorry. Facebook live stream is on Wednesday night where we can connect in person. Of course, you can still request counseling services, especially now that I'm back on the ball, and you can expect other cool things from me. On Thursdays, I should mention, I do a show called Parcel, which I sell whatever it is that I'm wearing that day. In addition, I also talk about whatever sales are online that I find are super dope. So go in the info box again if you guys want to see me. If you're just chilling at your desk on a Thursday morning, like, hey, what's Shannon up to? Like, I might be Facebook live streaming there as well too. That's fashion. Wednesday is sex. That's where you really want to be. If it were up to me, that's where I would be. See? Yes, she? I feel like I'm supposed to say goodbye, but today is Tuesday, so more than likely I'm going to see you tomorrow. So catch you in a bit, homie.